Long day, right? I get the honor of getting the last panel today, and hopefully the best, right? So I'm here today with three people, each of whom have invested and own more than $1 billion worth of Bitcoins. We've got Jamie, Brian, and Stephen. We can't tell you their last names right now, and we'd ask that if you do know them, please don't tweet them out because there are major security issues surrounding them. We're going to get into a little bit about that later. We're going to cover Bitcoin and whether we're in a bubble. We're going to cover kind of pump and dump schemes, what goes on in chat rooms. But we're going to start off with your stories, how you achieved what you've achieved. Jamie, I want to start with you. So you told me when we were planning this session that you started to get into Bitcoin in 2010, and the first Bitcoin that you bought was worth 6 cents. And today, I think Bitcoin today is about $9,000 a Bitcoin. So if I do the math, that's about 150,000x multiple on your initial investment. How on earth did you have that foresight and I didn't?
Well, it was September 2010, and I was a student. I was writing a thesis on encryption. And I earned much of my initial stake through proof of work. But when I saw the network stability, I started investing what little I had into Bitcoin. By 2013, the initial $600 investment was worth $9 million. Oh. And since I hadn't sold any, my life hadn't really changed. From 2013 and 2018, with the increase of the price, now I have to travel with 2 full-time bodyguards, and I have received numerous death threats.
Well, I'm sure there are many people in this room that will probably wish they had done some research around encryption in 2010. What about you, Brian? What's your story? How did you get into it?
Well, this is something I'm not too proud of, but I actually got into it because I was selling things on Silk Road. I don't really talk too much about that, but when I found out how valuable my Bitcoin had become, I moved completely into legal transactions.
Right. Yeah. The dark web, right? The dark web.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's not exactly the story I know that you were expecting to hear, but I feel like my street smarts were definitely a strategic move for me.
Right. Yeah. I imagine a lot of people who were on Silk Road in those days, no one else knew about Bitcoin then, right? So, and Stephen, I've read in the press that you have 179,000 Bitcoin, and if I, again, do the math, that means you probably have around maybe more than $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. I mean, isn't it time to diversify? Aren't we in a bubble?
I mean, you have to realize that there are only 1.8 million true Bitcoin wallets in existence, and
right.
Within the next 10 years, there's likely to be 1.8 billion. So, that's 100 times more than where we're at today. So,
excuse me, that is bullshit.
Well, excuse me.
No. Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme, and the only reason you're giving that
excuse
status
me.
is you can take more
Excuse me.
Excuse me. That's horseshit.
Well, please sit down. Please sit down.
That's right. I have my Bitcoin wallet hacked and lost my life savings.
No.
What do you have to say about that? How about my security?
Please. We'll have to
sit down. Shut up.
Shut up.
Let the guy talk.
Sorry.
Come on. What about my security, guys?
Bitcoin is the future. You two VCs are just like afraid it's going to ruin your business. Let him speak.
Okay.
Who are you? Sit down. Shut the fuck up.
I want to hear what they have to say.
No, this is bullshit.
Well, we'll get to this. Sorry.
Hey, just let him finish from it.
I think this is a good idea.
No, come on, just sit back down. We'll finish it out. Can we take a break for a minute, and if you just stick around, and can you play some music while we're waiting? In the city.